Hello everyone and welcome to another StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void video. Today I am going to be casting this replay that was sent to me by Mr. L representing the team of Kings. He is actually one of my clanmates. I recently joined this team after participating in the Bronze to Gold SCV Rush tournament, and this will be an interesting video. He said this was is a TvP Zealot heavy, so that's an idea of what the this Protoss player is going to be playing with, I should say. Anyway, he is in the bottom right hand corner playing with Terran. He is Mr. L. And in the top left hand corner we have, playing as the Protoss, we have Haziz Macu. Jesus Christ, that music just got epic. Came out of nowhere, that really didn't. There we go, now let's turn it down. Okay, so both people are just going through the normal stages at the minute, nothing terribly interesting. But yeah, as to why I haven't been doing videos, just school, life, you know. School unfortunately goes ahead of YouTube, so, and I just haven't been particularly interested in doing it right now, as I zoom in on the workers, just cause. But yeah, the matchup with Legacy of the Void is probably one of the most diverse matchups right now, in that there actually are several ways to play, whereas the rest of them really aren't. Like DVT, it's Marine tank versus Marine tank, and that's pretty much to the end of time. With TvP, it's a bit different, especially with Protoss. They can go classes. That's recently made a big return, slowly. There's Disruptor play, Storm, obviously. So there's a lot of ways that that Protoss can play. With Terran, however, you're kind of once again a bit like left in the dark. Well, like with they're all kind of one-trick ponies right now, because you can't really do anything except bio. Mech is pretty much dead in the higher leagues. You're pretty much putting yourself at a disadvantage by going mech, unfortunately. So we'll have to see if if people can finally find a way to make mech work. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. What else? Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see which way these players go. Do they play standard? Is it going to be, what are they going to do exactly? So yeah, we see both players taking their expansions, so there's not going to be any one-based cheese. That's kind of not a thing anymore. With the way their economies work, it's very rare for those kind of proxies and that stuff to work out, unless it's through your extra Reaper. That was a big thing for a while. But with the Mothership Core, with the Pylon Cannon, it's very hard to pull off. So it's very unlikely that anyone would really do it and get it to work. But he is doing bunker, because right now if you look at his vision, he actually can't see his expansion, so he doesn't know, and Protoss is Protoss. So. And we're starting to see techs here with Protoss going for the Twilight Council over here. So with Twilight Council you can do a lot of things. You can go with the Adept upgrade, I think it's resonating. I can never say that word. Basically he's going for the attack speed upgrade. So we'll see if he's going Depth, he's going Blink for Stalkers. So I don't know, we'll see. He does see the expansion being down, so he knows that's a thing. Might be able to pick up probe here. He does. Well, there's a probe, so that's one kill. Has he seen the Twilight Council? He has not seen Twilight Council yet, so it's gonna be something he wants to see. He's gonna see it. He does see it. Come on. So that's very, very good for him. And the Reaper does die to take that scout. And he is going for the Glaives upgrade. Resonating Glaives, that's what you say. Pardon me. But he's also going for the Robo, so this looks like it's going to be with a depth drop. Maybe a depth all in, we'll see. 2 bases depth all in, that's a really big thing recently. So we'll have to see if he does, how he does it. In the meantime, he's going engineering bay. He's got the ability to make tanks. He's starting to get stim. He's got some barracks up. He's got a bunker down, so that will really help actually. So in case up with his attack. So it'll be interesting to see how he does it, if he can pull it off. He's got a forge coming out, so he's getting a +1 whatever armor, or let's see, does he get the war prism? He gets an observer first. Okay, so looks like he's actually going to be probably going for a third base. In the meantime, he is getting a Mr. L is getting a liberator, so that's a very, very good unit, especially for picking up probes. It's generally a very annoying unit to fight against. I can attest to that because as a Zerg player, liberators are just a pain in the ass. But we'll see how everyone is doing. No sign of third base for either player, so it's interesting to see which way this will go. He is getting a warp prism now, so he's getting the observer to scout everything out. We'll see if he decides to go with that adept pressure. Because he has a sort of a problem with a tank already out in a pretty good position. It's kind of hard to get to at adepts. He isn't putting down missile turrets yet, which is surprising. 3rd CC is going down though. And this is looking steadily like an adept all in. Or, wait, where is it? Is it on its way? It is on its way, so it's just an adept drop. Okay, it's not full all in. He's starting to get blink. He's getting +1 armor, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, I suppose. But +1 weapons is probably the better of the two to pick. But the adept drop does come in. Let's see how much damage he does. He's not aggroing on the workers, which isn't really good. He's shading out, but it looks like that adept drop really didn't do much, unfortunately. The warp prism is, however, alive, and the workers killed. He is actually hitting 10, which is impressive. Actually, it did more damage than I thought he did. Let's see the units tab. 39 to 38, so it's actually the Terran is in the lead, and on the worker count slightly, it's pretty even. But again, this warp prism is still out there, so he's just had that problem to deal with. His 3rd CC is down, no sign of a third nexus is going down. Probably should have taken this a bit quicker. Generally, you want to stay 1 base ahead of the Terran, and for Protoss, generally rule of thumb right now, the Protoss should have the higher economy. But, you know, it is down, but the 3rd CC is done for the Terran player right now, which is a bit of a problem. Let's see the army supplies right now. Army supplies is definitely in favor of the Terran, and he is actually really far ahead in supply in general. So, yeah, they really should have taken that earlier, in my opinion. But we'll have to see. It is, when you don't get any damage to the adept drop, it is a bit of a problem. Then again, it is still here. You can still do so much with it, but unfortunately with those tanks, he's got units everywhere right now, so he's not going to get much. +1 armor is on the way. He has gotten +1 weapons. He actually forgot the 2nd engineering bay, it seems. Does he have an armory down? He does, so everything's on point. Everything's on point. He's got a zealot drop here. That really won't work. And really kind of bad control here by the Protoss player. He loses the warp prism. So now the Terran player can really mech her up. He still does have to worry about Storm, but he has a good amount of tanks coming out of Temper Archives. Of course, he's always got the high temper kind of feedback as well to kill Metamax too. So we'll have to see how this goes, but right now the Terran player is massively ahead. He's getting his upgrades up, and yeah, in general he's doing really well for himself. 4 high temper coming in. So now it'll be interesting to see if he can pull this off. Like, how will it work? He's got a drop coming in. We'll see how the Protoss player responds to this drop. Unfortunately, he is aggroing onto the there we go. Now he's doing it properly. He's got stim. He might actually take. Oh, it just finished. That was lucky. He nearly lost his upgrade there. What was that? Sorry, what upgrade was that? It was +2. It's +2 armor. So yeah, that would have been a bit of a problem. He's still not getting +1 either. He still has no attack upgrades, which is really surprising way of going things. Like, personally, Seems like +1 weapons is much better. But with Storm, he does have, obviously with Storm, you know, Storm is evil. As somebody who uses Hydras, I can tell you that Storm is evil, so it'll be interesting to see how he does this. And with the attack coming in, he's got a 4th base coming down. He's got 2 bases coming down actually. His macro is really in the zone. He's got his upgrades coming in. He's got an interesting timing attack coming in, or attack coming in. We'll see if this push holds. Will he be able to win? How much damage will he do, or will he just get stomped with Storm? He's pushing away from the Storm. He does know he's out there, so he does see it there. Storm is still evil, so how will he be able to do? We shall see indeed. But he's still really far ahead, to be honest. Army supply is like 20 supply ahead. He's even the Protoss player has even the worker deficit. He's getting the Ghost Academy, which is the counter to Storm with, of course, EMP. That'll be death to this army pretty much if he manages to pull that off. He's got a flank coming in. The tanks aren't sieged. He's got good splits. Oh no, he's not. I was wrong. Storm, yeah. Storm is good. Did pretty well there though. He got all of the storms out. Let's see what the supplies are. The supplies are still pretty even. He knows he doesn't have a 4th base. That is the big problem here, is that the Protoss player is also slipping his macro here. He needs a 4th base. He needs to take his bases a lot quicker than he is. Generally, this should not be happening. It should be the opposite way around. He's taking his base when the Terran is taking his base, and that's just not the way it's supposed to go. And the Terran has getting ghosts out. He's got his upgrades coming in. He's got +2. He's getting a planetary on his 4th. I really don't see. It's going to take a lot of work to get his army to work. It's not that big of an army except for the storms. So it is a lot of storms though. So we'll see if he can make it work. He's got Liberators out to harass too, so that's going to make it even more, because the Liberators are kind of like what tanks can, like where tanks are sort of in TvP or TvT with when they siege up outside your middle line. It's really difficult to get rid of them, especially with Blink Stalker, which he doesn't have. Or he does have Blink Stalker, my bad. He does have Blink Stalker, so he does have that, but he doesn't have much anti-air, and it doesn't like he's gonna get any sign of a Stargate or Fleet Beacon or anything like that, which is with Tempests or anything like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Got another factory coming down. 3-3's on the way. Going 3-1, which this is the killer here. I think he doesn't have a weapon upgrades, and that's going to be the killer for most of this game until he gets it up. Unless he's really focused on getting this up, this will be a big crutch for him. He's just not going to do damage to him. You know, he is +3/+3 coming in, and Marines at +3/+3 are really good. Another planetary coming down. He's got a 5th base, and look, he's on a 4th base on. He doesn't even have his gases mined yet. That is the big problem here. But he does have a big, massive army. I'll give that a lot of zealots. He wasn't kidding when he said zealots. But again, he doesn't have the upgrades for them, and he does have charge, which is good. But into a siege tank line with 3-3 Marines nearly done. A lot of tanks, ghosts, storms are going to be able, if he lands the EMPs, going to be really good. He's got Liberators too. They're unsieged, but they are very good units, and it won't take much to siege them. His macro's really good. The army supplies before this fight, as they stand outside, is even. Worker supply is even. He's getting Colossus transition? Okay, didn't see that coming. But here we go, we'll see how the fight goes. Oh, there's the storms on the ghosts. Not good. Oh, that EMP. That EMP. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, there's a great storm again, but once again, the Pirates players' army is just not strong enough. The storms got absolutely EMP'd to death. And he's just got not got power enough now. That was a wonderful fight by Mr. L. What a fight there. Those EMPs just took out all those Templar. Like, they were like 5 High Templars sitting there and they just got destroyed with those EMPs. They had no energy for Storm. And that was the main killing point of this army, and they just, well, they didn't really do much, unfortunately, for him. He's back to his start. He's got no Protoss need a technical army, and they just don't have it right now. Terran is 40 supply ahead. He's still not even spending his cash. And the Terran player is right in front of his base. He's got Liberators. He's got no anti-air to shoot his Liberators. He's going 3 Colossus at a time, but that's just not going to be enough. This is going to be heavily in favor of the Terran. There'll be one hell of a hold if he manages to hold this. He does have thermal lance with his Colossus, which is good, but again, he's only on +2, the Terran's on +3. So, that is still a problem. Can he do it though? Maybe, if he gets amazing trades, but it's really, really hard. Might be going to be too heavy on the Colossus here. 6 is a bit much, but this is going to be an interesting fight. He's got it. Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, did he do it? No, he won't. He's got too much. Yeah, there we go. That's GG now. That's definitely GG now. He's got Terrence maxed out and he doesn't even GG. Wow. That's someone who's salty. He didn't even GG. How nice of him. He didn't even GG him. That's really horrible. But as you can see, for not having those upgrades really, really hurt him. He just didn't have enough upgrades. He was generally a bases ahead of the Protoss player. Didn't expand quick enough. The Terran player was ahead in economy for most of the game, simply because he had more bases than him. It's generally the other way around. In general, at least in Korean StarCraft, it's meant to be the other way around. So, unfortunately for him, he did not do that. His army got wonderful EMPs in this fight over this really, really important fight over here. His depth drop at the beginning did very, very little damage, besides splash damage from the tanks. So that wasn't that bad for what it cost. But yeah, it was really unfortunate and really, really, really well played by by Mr. L, and did great work with his tanks, great defending, great attacking. So yeah, that's generally just how this game went. It was really just a masterclass, really, unfortunately for our Protoss players. So if you enjoyed this, guys, please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys whenever. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.
I mean, it's not doomed to failure, but again, when we look at past history, the first time they did it, it was not a success. Mm-hmm. So and then, but this was partially forced on them too. You got to remember that. I mean, USA Network is not happy with the SmackDown numbers, and that's a key part of the story.
Let's talk about the ripple effect here, and that is, we barely think about it now, but Impact airs on Tuesday nights from 9 till 11 on Pop TV. WWE is moving directly up against 1 hour of that, going 8 till 10. If you are Impact, what do you do in this situation?
Get another night.
I'll tell you what I'd do at first is I would move back an hour and go 10 to 12. And hope that it works. And if it doesn't work, then I would move days. But I would give it a try, because every time they move days, they lose audience. Mm-hmm. So I don't really, it's like it could be a blessing in disguise if you. I mean, you could even go in the time slot you have, but to me, then what's going to happen is you're sacrificing your first hour and then hoping you get a bunch of viewers for your second hour. I would rather, even though the second hour would then be 11 to midnight, I would rather take my chances going from 10 to midnight right after SmackDown ends and hope that, there's going to be, let's just say 2.5,